A 10-point agenda. Governor Cuomo pushing today for abortion rights as part of his agenda for women's rights. He held a press conference this morning to talk about it, and our Capitol correspondent Pat Bailey was there and joins us live. And Pat, we've been waiting for some time to find out just what was in the governor's women's rights package, and apparently now we know.
We do know, Liz, that's right. As you mentioned, we've been waiting since January when the governor held his State of the State address. Back then, in that address, he said he does want to pass a women's rights agenda this year. Well, it's been 6 months. We've heard a little bit about it throughout the past 6 months, but today we saw the 10 points outlined. Now, we also found out today that a coalition of women helped the governor and the governor's office put this bill together. That coalition was made up of about 12 to 15 women. They were also in attendance today outlining the plan. Now, it was a 10-point plan, as we mentioned, and it ranges from equal pay to women to tougher sex trafficking laws, and also the women's right to choose. Now, that was number 10 on the agenda, but it was number 1 talked about inside the room today with the media. The governor saying that over the past couple of weeks, a lot of the media has been writing about the abortion rights aspect of this law, and he says what was written out there was inaccurate, saying that it expands the law. The governor says it does not expand the abortion rights law. Rather, it codifies the law, mainly the Supreme Court's decision to uphold Roe v. Wade. And he says that all this does, this particular point in the bill, make sure that New York State will follow the federal law. But critics of the bill say abortion is already legal in New York State, and this is nothing more than expanding the law. And some of them say that the governor is using this particular bill and this particular point as possible motivation down the road if he has aspirations to go higher into office. Other parts of the bill, as we mentioned, tougher sex trafficking laws and equal pay for women, as we said, is a 10-point bill. It just became available about a half hour or so ago, Liz, so of course we will look through it this afternoon, and there's a lot to talk about in this bill.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Pat, if this coalition of women that helped him sort of forge this document, have they been on board then since January? Is that sort of his explanation for why this has taken so long?
Absolutely right. I talked to Barbara Bartoletti, who's the head of the League of Women Voters here in New York State, and I asked her that question. I said, how long have you been putting this together? And she said basically since mid-January this coalition has been meeting and piece by piece putting this together. As we said, it's an extensive, large bill. There's 10 points to it. The sticking point seems to be right now that abortion portion of the bill, number 10. But the coalition says, yes, they've been working on it since January. They wanted to make sure that all their I's were dotted and their T's were crossed, especially since they got to send it now to the legislature, who now has to approve this bill.
So there's no thought that maybe the plan changed as the reactions started getting out to what they thought the governor wanted to do?
Well, the governor was asked that question today. He said, you know, from day one, you've said that you want to make sure you put a bill out there that you know will get passed. And he has, of course, held leaders' meetings over the last couple of weeks. He just held one yesterday, just over my shoulder here at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon with some leaders. So no word on if this was discussed, but it'd probably be a pretty safe bet to say that this probably was discussed since the bill came out now, about 12 hours after they met.
All right. Pat Bailey, thanks very much. We'll look forward to more details as you get a chance to sort of absorb them there, and we'll hear more from you tonight. Thank you.